Hey everyone, this is Jack. I recently had the pleasure of talking to a virtual wholesaling mastermind with Chris Logan, and I wanted to share the video and its content. So really appreciate you tuning in as we talked about AI and some of the tools that can be implemented right now for little to no cost that can have a huge impact on your business. So here we go.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to our midweek mastermind. I am really excited to be here tonight because we have a special guest, Jack Haas, who is with us here. Go ahead and Jack, say hi.
Hey everyone.
So we have some really exciting content for you here tonight. One of the reasons why I wanted to do a special guest speaker tonight is because, I've been talking with Jack for a long time. I've actually known Jack for a little while. I was on his podcast a couple of times. Don't forget, guys. Joel, what's happened, man? Good to see you. When you guys are coming in, don't forget to smash that like and love button. Catherine, what's going on? And then also comment so that way this gets bumped up into the whole Facebook thing and everybody in the group can see it and all that. Let me go ahead and drop and add everyone here. So that way everybody in the group can see it and boom, we're rolling here. So I've known Jack for a little while, been on his podcast a couple of times, and he shared with me some cool stuff that he's doing for real estate wholesalers to help them save time and make more money. And so I was like, man, if that isn't a cool combo to bring into our group and something we should talk more about, then I don't know what is. So that's why I have him here today. So cool. I'm seeing you guys can see and hear me. More people are coming in. Awesome. Catherine, what's going on? Good stuff. So that being said, guys, go ahead and comment also where you're watching from. I'd love to see where you guys are watching from, network from all over the country and be in one spot. And it's funny to think that 10 years ago, what we're doing right now, I don't think was possible. Like business was ran very differently. So I remember when I first got started in wholesaling around 12 years ago, I was using printed out lead sheets. I didn't have a CRM. It was a piece of paper that I printed out. And think now with Jack being on here today, we're going to be talking about AI, like artificial intelligence and how you can use it to automate things and save time is pretty cool. All right. So let's go ahead and dive in. One thing I want to share with you guys is, why AI and why I'm bringing it to this group and having Jack here, right? So when AI first came out, everyone thought, for those who don't know, AI is artificial intelligence, Chat GPT. If you're more familiar with that, that's just one of the tools. There's a lot of different tools you can use in AI. A lot of people think it's a lot harder than it actually is to use some of these things, but there is a right way and a wrong way. And that's why we have Jack here today to dive more into that. He's better at that stuff than I am. One thing I can tell you guys is that it saves me a lot of time, right? Anything from rewriting things, researching different topics. I mean, it is literally a search engine on steroids that you can even use to automate things like social media and emails, text messages, all that cool stuff. I've saved a ton of time in my own real estate business, and I've even taught my own virtual assistants how to use some of these tools so they can save time and actually get more done. And I would say it's probably doubled their output. They're doubling it because tasks that used to take forever, like analyzing data on a spreadsheet or something like that, is now done in like a minute or two using a few AI tools. So the reason why I wanted to bring Jack in here today, but I'm going to go ahead and have Jack take the floor here and kind of share why you're passionate about AI and how it's really changed your journey in real estate and those that you help.
Well, I really appreciate the time here tonight. And this is, I get to nerd out because my family gets tired of hearing me talking about this on a daily basis. So yeah, when it comes to my personal story, I've been doing real estate investing now for 9 years, and I do majority of our own property management. And what I think is painfully obvious is that up until recently, there weren't any significant tools and abilities to take care of some of those repetitive tasks that we deal with on a regular basis. And I think a lot of people need to actually stop what they're doing one morning and like just look at your calendar and what you do every single day. I think most people would be surprised at, number one, you mentioned, Chris, that you have virtual assistants that help you with a number of things. We need to start seeing our time as that limited and valuable resource that it is and implement either virtual assistants or AI to handle some of those low cost tasks that consume a significant amount of our time on a daily basis. So a couple of good examples. I'll just give one example. I helped another real estate investor recently with a session, and we implemented two things. And unfortunately, I hate to make this a bragging point, but he was able to remove two virtual assistants that were doing those tasks. The time we spent was a significant cost savings to his bottom line.
Yeah. That's amazing, man. And you know what I really like about that too? There's people in the group here too that maybe they thought that they're just getting started with this thing and they want to hire a virtual assistant, or maybe they're kind of spinning their head because there's so much stuff to do in wholesaling. If only I had someone to help me out, right? But now you may not have the budget to hire a virtual assistant if that's the bucket you're in. And maybe you're just like, I just want to use a couple AI tools to really save time. That's a significant cost savings there. I mean, you could save $250, $500 a month from two virtual assistants with an AI tool that may cost like $100 or something like that. So there's so much that can be done right now. We're really living in a different time. And for us to ignore that would be pretty foolish right now.
Yeah.
So
this is a land rush like we haven't seen in a long, long time. This is like Ford creating that first automobile.
Yeah, totally. Couldn't agree more. Like there's just so many exciting things going on right now. And there's just a lot of ways for us to be more efficient, get more done, and be able to like do more deals. So very cool. So guys, if you are ready to dive into the core content here, we are so pumped to be here with you tonight and share with you all these cool tips and tricks that Jack's developed over the years, and really share with you guys some tools that maybe you didn't know that you need that could really save you a lot of time and also help you make more money, get more stuff done. We're going to go ahead and dive in to the first part of tonight's midweek mastermind, which is AI tools that you didn't know that you needed. We're going to go beyond Chat GPT and really talk about some tools specifically for virtual wholesalers that can really help you guys save some time. So once I see those readies coming through, we're going to go ahead and dive in. Cool. I'm starting to see the readies. Awesome. So Jack, go ahead.
Well, I'm going to share one here tonight so that we can keep me on track.
Yeah. So typically these are 45 minutes. We can go a little bit longer if we need to, but we would probably stop at the top of the hour at the absolute latest.
Sure. Well, can you see my slide here?
Let's see. I could a second ago. The screen's black right now.
Okay.
It like flashes. Brian, I see the readies coming through. Carlos ready, RJ ready, Henry ready. I love it, guys. We love having these calls here in the group because you guys are so engaged, and I love seeing everybody connect here. So I'll have a special gift for those that stay to the end and watch the whole midweek mastermind today, because we value your guys' time. This is a really cool thing we're going to be diving into, and I really feel that everybody needs to hear this. And so I have a special gift for everybody who sticks here to the end. So
can you see this now, Chris?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. Well, I appreciate everybody. I'm with Real Deal Crew, so you can find a lot of information at realdealcrew.com, because we do help a lot of real estate investors and real estate pros, for that matter, adopt AI and some automation. And I'm not going to try to keep things a bit high level here today, but you'll have to rein me in, Chris, because sometimes I can kind of go into the weeds on a few things. But what we're going to cover here today is what is AI and what is it, this whole voodoo we're talking about anyway. I'm going to give a few use cases, and I'll probably talk to a couple things that we've implemented so that people have kind of an example, because this is one of those things you don't know you don't know at this point when it comes to AI and how we can possibly use it. Beyond Chat GPT, it surprises some people that there are different models. There are different AIs, and some of them are better suited for certain tasks than others. So we're going to spend just a little time on that. And then in the end, if everybody sticks to the end here, I'm going to have the top 10 tools you should be using right now in your business to make things easier that don't require people like me to help you implement. Many of these are free to use on a limited basis. So you might as well take advantage of some of these tools. So with that, this is how you can find me. I know a lot of people may not be on X, but frankly, that's my growing group right now. I have closing in on 12,000 people following me there as I'm helping with some of this AI content and real estate investors implementing some of the strategies that I post there. So that's one of my most active. But you can also find me on LinkedIn. And yeah, I do have my own. It cost me a little money, but I actually got my name now. So if you go to jackhaas.com, you'll find my LinkedIn page there. So first off, we're going to start with Moore's Law. And everybody might have heard Moore's Law. And that is that technology doubles every 2 years. Computer, you probably have heard that. On our current pace, we are doubling the power of AI every 6 months. It's a breakneck speed. We're seeing new models, new things coming out all the time. And if you're not leveraging AI in your real estate investing or if in your business in general, you are really missing out. And I would even make the argument that you maybe should consider automation before you consider hiring. Imagine having somebody or something running 24/7 that doesn't need vacation, that doesn't get sick, that just produces consistent results every single time. That's the world we're living in right now. Unfortunately, when you go to LinkedIn right now, you see a lot of green. And when I say green, that means open to work signs on people's profiles. AI is displacing people right now, and it is kind of the sad situation of things. However, those people that are going to survive this current era are going to be the people that know how to use these tools. That's just the end result of it.
Hey, Jack, can I jump in for 1 second on that?
Yeah.
That's such a great point that you brought up there, guys. So, guys, this is not something to be scared of, right? Maybe some of you are in industries that are downsizing because of AI, or they're replacing people in admin positions with AI tools. Here's the thing, guys. This is a thing to be embraced, right? For example, in wholesaling, right? There's rules, regulations, laws that come out recently across different states in the last couple of years. Some people would view that as, oh man, there's limited opportunity here and that and the other. But here's the thing, guys. The real opportunity is understanding how to thrive in the current environment, right? The same thing comes with AI, right? We are being forced to level up our skills and get better, right? And become the best version of ourselves using things like AI tools that can save us time, understanding rules, regulations, laws, things like that. We become better entrepreneurs, and it allows us to be able to reach our goals faster. So that's just something I wanted to jump in there with, Jack, because sometimes people look at things from the standpoint of oh, is it really good to have this? Yes. If the people that understand how to use AI in their business are going to have a significant edge in the future over the people that don't and just stay committed to the old ways, right? So fully support everything you're saying. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I can't echo that enough. I mean, it is kind of scary. We haven't seen this level of disruption in our lifetime.
Yeah.
It is very new. It's a different landscape. We're not going to spend a lot of time on this, and we don't want to get into a lot of terms, but you might have also heard LLM, large language model, is what it stands for. If you're a fan of the IT crowd, that's who is on the screen right now, Jen Barber. It was one of those things, it's that recurring joke during that series where even by the end, she was assigned to the IT department, but she never understood or she never learned what the acronym IT even stood for. So in the end, though, large language models, to kind of show the trick, if you will, is that all it's using is it's doing predictive work. I hated statistics in college, but it's using predictive work to determine what the next word is or what the next action should be. So it's just using a predictive model associated with that. So when people actually say that we've trained IT or IT is becoming self-aware, it's usually people who are scared of the situation and they actually don't understand how this is, what the voodoo is that's actually going on. But like I said, I just wanted to spend a second there. But most people are familiar with Chat GPT, and in fact, it's probably becoming the Kleenex of AI models right now. Unfortunately, we are seeing a misstep here regarding not only how to use ChatGPT, but we have a number of other models that are available to us that actually excel in different situations. So I thought we'd spend a few minutes here today just kind of going through a few of these so that you can maybe decide and select things. And at the end of this presentation, I have one tool that combines them all. So you shouldn't see it like Chat GPT is $20 a month and Gemini is another $20 a month and Claude is another $20 a month. We do have tools that are available to us now that combine them into a single subscription, and you can have access to all of the models. You can then be selective.
I highly recommend that, guys. Highly recommend.
Yeah. Chat GPT is great for general use. And now I would even add deep research. And this is going to be the models within Chat GPT. You're going to see 4.0 is a model. 4.1 is for deep research. If you want more details on that, you can have my contact information again, and we can chat about that a little bit further. Gemini is the default now in your Google Docs and a few things. So if you have Google Workspace, a lot of companies are operating off of that. You're going to have a little Gemini kind of included with your subscription. What's interesting about Gemini is Google is a powerhouse, of course. We all know who Google is. Their recent release statistically out measures the results you get from ChatGPT. So they're kind of the king of the hill right now, at least temporarily, until ChatGPT comes out with their next one.
Hey, Jack, real
Claude.
quick, is there a free version of Chat GPT that you can get?
Yes, you can. In fact, ChatGPT is when you create an account, you will have like a limited number of uses per month. Most of these do have that type of thing. The one that is kind of a sleeper on here is Perplexity, which is kind of displacing some search engines. That one in particular is pretty generous in the amount of freebie that you get with these services. The catch is that many of them unlock additional tokens or uses if you sign up for an account.
And a quick thing, guys, if you guys don't already, make sure that you're sitting in a quiet environment where you can take notes and really pay attention here, because there's some ins and outs to what Jack's going to be diving into. I'd even recommend taking out a pad and a piece of paper with a pen and just like take some notes here.
Yeah, well, this is another thing, Chris, that you just reminded me of. If you're a terrible typer, I have to admit that I'm quite quick when it comes to my typing abilities, but a lot of people aren't. There is no problem in hitting that microphone button and on any of these and actually just speaking what you're looking for right there in any of these platforms and then hitting submit. And they're smart enough now for it to understand what you're looking for.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it is totally crazy. And I'm going to get into a couple strategies here that they're even crazier, because I think a lot of people make the mistake of dumping a ton of commands or asks all at once into these platforms. And it's best to kind of parse them out and kind of build on each other. So when you're making these type of requests, but we'll kind of spend a little time on that here in a minute.
Jack, could you break down what Google Doc integration means?
Well, Google Doc integration means is that as you're writing a Word document, as you're creating a presentation, it's kind of creepy in a way, because you can actually have it build some of that. You could be in a presentation doc in Google, and for that matter, Copilot for Microsoft. You can tell Copilot, this is the type of presentation I need, and this is my topic, and it will give you that initial draft, and you can actually watch it build all of those slides in real time.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty freaky. It's never going to be like perfect, but it's a great starting point. Claude is going to be one of your better tools for writing and deep research, and I'm going to emphasize the writing. Most professional writers, SEO companies, even programmers are using Claude now as their starting point when it comes to those type of documents. it excels on the written word. So when you are trying to create a blog post or you're trying to create content for other platforms, Claude is becoming kind of the default for the written word. Perplexity is a search engine. So search engine and summarization, they recently, over the past year, they're more real time now. There used to be, it was kind of a situation where they were like a year behind as they were trying to do this, catching up the model. Now it's in real time. So Perplexity is probably Google's biggest problem right now when it comes to search engine displacement. And it's just a great research for searching and summarization. I already kind of touched on Copilot, but I'm going to call out Grok on one thing because it's an oddball in all of these. If you want to do any kind of research in real time and what the pulse of what people are talking about, Grok is that AI for that. Imagine having access to everybody on Twitter, all of the comments and sentiments and everything that's going on, news being posted. That's kind of like a really good pulse of the Twitter sphere, if you will. Anytime I hear about a news story, and that might be going on, I might not find it in my Twitter thread or my X thread right off the bat, I can just simply ask Grok what's going on, and it'll just kind of summarize what's going on. It just kind of surfaces those type of things. So I kind of want to give some real life use cases for this because, again, you don't know what you don't know. And I kind of alluded to the fact that it's best to treat these tools in a particular way. Some of the mistakes I've been seeing lately is dumping just a knowledge dump into one big prompt, if you will, or request. You might hear the term your AI, it starts to hallucinate. It starts to make things up, and it's not very accurate. AI is particularly good if you give it things in smaller bite-sized pieces. So it's best to tell it one thing and then build upon that. In fact, if you don't know how to treat AI, here is a great tip. Ask it what you should ask. So what I sometimes will do is like, I will give it a summary of what I'm trying to accomplish, and then I will end it with, what additional information do you need to provide the best and most detailed answer? And then it will it'll start asking me questions to fill in what it needs to know before it gives me the end result.
Yeah, keep going, man.
So some real use cases here. So save time on listings. This is actually kind of a strange popular one. In fact, you'd be surprised how many realtors don't know how to write a good real estate listing for the MLS. So it's a great one to ask help with Chat GPT, Gemini, but I have a tool called egghead.com, egghed.com, and I've pre-prompted that, if you will, kind of developed that. So if anybody goes there, it will help you it'll ask you a few questions and help you create a good MLS listing.
This is really a huge tool or huge time saving for wholesalers, right? Who are selling their deals. Something that we do is we basically take all of our notes from our seller calls that we have, like we're getting the 4 pillars of motivation, the condition, the timeline, the motivation, and the reason they're selling. And we take all those notes, we throw it into AI, and then basically it kicks out a property sale description for our buyers. So we put that email together, we're advertising our properties, cranks it out really fast, and it's pretty awesome. So I can tell you that saves me a lot of time too.
Yeah, it's been kind of funny because I've had it set up now so that I work with a number of realtors in my local market, and I just push it through that, and it just spits out something for them.
There's in the group too, so this is something you definitely need to use.
So we can use it to automate some due diligence. ChatGPT in particular, as well as the tool I'll show you here in a minute, has projects, for example, and these projects allow me to pre-train the AI to certain tasks. When I get purchase agreements, it's pages and pages and pages in my market. It's sometimes hard to go through all of that material and all of that content, but I have set up AI to ingest those PDFs and give it to me in a summary. I'm going to call out an AI assistant. It can answer common questions and qualify leads. I'm going to tie this into the receptionist. This is something that is exceptionally hot for my group right now. I implement this on a frequent basis where we have AI not only responding to texts, but voice calls. And it is kind of freaky to even me watching this happen in real time, because I get the transcripts that are going on. And in half the cases, people I don't think even realize they're talking to AI at this point.
That's so great. But first, AI was really slow over the phone. And so it was like super obvious you were talking to somebody, right? But it's caught up really fast in a very short period of time. And would you agree about that?
Oh, completely agree about that. In fact, I have one example where somebody called in and he's talking to Jessica is the name of the AI agent. And he goes, give me a minute. I have to find that. I have that written down somewhere. And Jessica responds, no worries. I'll be ready when you are. You know, it actually responded to what he just said. And it just waited until he found it. Oh, I found it. Here it is. Okay.
That's
I'm
kind
ready
of
to take
freaky.
that
Like
down.
that's kind of like Skynet, Terminator type stuff.
It was pretty cool. And then instant market research. We're all, especially virtual wholesalers. Chris, I know you probably give a lot of this type of content, but if you're trying to find like more granular information, especially because sometimes it's important to even know the neighborhoods, you'd be surprised at the amount of information you can garner from Perplexity and Gemini now.
That's awesome. We may have to integrate some of that stuff.
But one in the end, what I really wanted to drive home here today is that we need to stop using AI as a hammer and everything we see as a nail too, because where I think where we're going to finally eventually land is Tony Stark. We're building you. You build yourself your armor. It kind of makes you superhuman, but in the end, you know as well as I, Chris, when you're dealing with wholesaling and dealing with distressed homeowners, it's that human touch. We can't lose that, and that's in the end what's going to make or break a deal.
Can we go back to that previous slide that you have there?
Yeah.
So when it comes to instant market research, a lot of people here in the group are either just getting into virtual wholesaling or they are already virtual wholesaling, right? And one of the top questions I get from people in the group here is, Chris, like, how do I select a good territory? How do I select a good market? And we have a two-step simple system to be able to do this, identifying the population size and then the median home price. Those are the two things that we look at to identify good territory using Perplexity or Gemini. So could you kind of share like how that's possible to go deeper with that to get a really good feeling of if an area is good for real estate investors to go, if there's a lot of cash transactions in the market, if there's a lot of people moving into a territory, or if a territory is like a lot of people moving out, like how could we use Perplexity and Gemini to get that information?
Well, a few things that come to mind and that I've seen being used is, unfortunately, crime statistics is a big thing, especially in large metropolitan areas. You might want to know that type of granular information. Gentrification and a few of those data points as well around like where the city or even state is injecting capital to improve neighborhoods, so you can actually get in front of some of those developments that might be coming online. And we are seeing a significant shift in population statistics as people are moving from blue states to red states, as migrants are moving into specific areas. We can dive into some of those type of market research that would typically take an individual days, months. These AI platforms now can pull that stuff together almost instantaneously, or it's things that we may not, unless you were BlackRock or some of these big outfits, we wouldn't even be in the running for. We have it at our fingertips now.
Yeah.
Talking about
Yeah.
leveling the playing field.
I mean, just being able to ask AI to do something for you, like research an area, for example, and have it pull back all this incredible information. To your point, that would have taken hours, if not a month, to pull back all this information, doing it the old way, right? And now AI, like it's kind of like your AI assistant, basically. You just kind of tell it what to do. It goes and finds it, brings it back. But a big thing that I've noticed when it comes to AI and how successful you can be with it is knowing the right things to ask it to do and how to ask it in the right way, right? Because some people think that they're using AI in a way that is is good and it saves them time, but knowing the right way and the right prompts and the just how to organize the information you give it to make sure you're getting back the absolute best end result that you can get is like so important on this. So what would you recommend for people who are kind of there, who've like maybe they've tried AI and they just haven't really grasped stuck on like that next step of what to do and how to use it? Are there any tips or tricks you could recommend people on how to get better at that?
Well, the big obvious one that I chatted about before is don't be afraid of hitting that microphone button and just speaking what you're thinking.
Mm,
But don't be afraid to ask AI what it needs to find whatever information you're looking for. Because it's called prompting, right? We're injecting this information into the AI for it to produce a specific result. If it doesn't provide you the results you're looking for, you need a little guidance. And that's where AI in particular is very good. If given the instruction to ask you questions, it will ask you questions until it has gathered enough information to provide the accurate result you're looking for. So don't be afraid to ask it what you need to ask. I mean, in the end, it'll help you build that necessary prompt to get it done.
awesome.
It's a bit of a trick
Awesome.
that I
I
don't
think
think
that's
people
really good
realize.
suggestion.
Yeah, go ahead, Chris. What were you going to say?
No, what I was saying was, yeah, that's something that I didn't really even think about. Like hitting the microphone button and just like asking it, like talking to it like you would somebody else and have it put together kind of like what it thinks you need based on how you explained it and what you said. So that's really cool. And that actually cuts back on a lot of the overthinking when trying to come up with like the perfect prompt.
Yeah. Well, I'm go as far as this, Chris. This is one of those things that I've done myself. I'm a big fan of Chris Voss and the
Mm-hmm.
never split the difference sales methodology. So in our CRM, it records every phone call that goes in and out.
Mm-hmm.
On occasion, I will download that audio file and send it into a Chat GPT, which I have set up to give me sales training. And then it'll
Mm,
give me feedback on how that call went and what I could have done better.
amazing. Amazing. That's definitely a way that you guys can save time with this by getting, excuse me, getting that real-time feedback. And, you know, this type of stuff is like an enhancer, guys. Like it's not the thing, it's like an enhancer. It kind of like makes your natural learning, you know, working with a coach and then like enhancing that. Like it's something that is like the salt and pepper, it's the icing on the cake, really the thing that makes what you're doing easier and getting that real-time feedback. So that's awesome, man.
Yeah. And it just echoes, gee, what I said, you want to enhance everything that you're doing, and these is ideal, especially when it comes to automation, is those repetitive things. You need to start treating your time. I don't know what you use as a measurement platform on this, Chris, but I've heard people say you need to treat your time as $300 an hour. I've heard it go up from there, but there's been a number of times where I've run into people who say they're busy in their real estate, but they haven't landed a deal.
Mm,
And then I've gone into, well, can you tell me how your day looked? You're going to give
yeah.
me a summary of what you've done today. And it was usually they build their website, they were writing a blog post, they were
Business cards. Right?
business cards. I was just getting to that. And it's just like, come on, people. We need to spend our time on talking to those distressed homeowners and getting those properties under contract. That's where our money actually is.
Awesome. I love that. I could not agree more. And these tools can really help you guys save that time. So you're not doing that low dollar per hour stuff and you could focus on closing more deals. This is a huge game changer, guys. And I can't believe a lot of these tools are free or very, very low cost in the very beginning. So you're getting an army of artificial AI virtual assistants working for you for like pennies here. Awesome. Let's dive into some of the tools. This is a part that I've been
Sure.
waiting for.
Well, let's go into a few of these things. And I wouldn't have them on this list if I'm not using these on a regular basis myself in some way. So, meeting note taker, fathom.video. If you haven't seen Fathom, it is a great way to, and there's a free plan, especially for personal use. So, that's another thing to call out here. It will tie into Google Meet, Zoom, and some of those platforms, and will not only summarize the meeting so you can focus on your meeting and having your conversations, but it will pull out any kind of action items that needs to be followed up on.
I love Fathom.
Merlin. This is the tool I was talking about. It uses multiple models, $20 a month. And it has not only Chat GPT and Claude and Gemini, but also has all of the image generation type things in there as well. So if you need a logo or if you need a graphic for your website, Merlin is a great solution for that. Marky is a social media marketing platform. Have you seen those, Chris? You have to have seen those where you go on there and Alex Hormozy has them all the time. It's a picture of him with quotes and stuff under it in a graphic in a square, whether it's Instagram or LinkedIn.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Marky will make those from you. They'll scrape your website and will automatically generate those on a regular basis, and you can have it post that daily. I have it right now posting twice a day on my behalf.
That is amazing. That's crazy. I've never heard of Marky before. I know what you're talking about as far as what he has. I've been manually creating those in Canva.
Yeah. And what, I go through and it has an edit button. So you edit and approve every single one, but it's just a few minutes of your time. Man, every time there's awesome. A new blog post or a new podcast recording.
Yeah.
It will generate from that new content. So
that is amazing.
Taja is another great one, especially if people have YouTube channels. If you're creating content for outreach, Taja will help you create YouTube titles, descriptions, and will chop your video up into shorts. Taja is one of the, I don't know if I know any other tool on here that adds more functionality on a regular basis than them. Lately, their newest one is in your shorts now. You can even have it generate B-roll and stuff in between things.
Really? That's amazing.
Descript. Descript is a great editing tool. It translates everything to text, and then you edit the video from the text like a Word document.
Yep.
I don't know if you use this, Chris, but I have become reliant on Overlord. It's their AI integration.
Yeah, I use it all the time.
And you just click edit for clarity and it goes and it edits for clarity and it removes all the ums and ahs and everything in there. But you can use that to create shorts and everything else too. You just ask the AI to do it. Notebook Research and Thinking Partner. This is a Google product. In fact, it's become so powerful that they spun it off into its own thing. So think of maybe like Notion, except on steroids to a certain extent. It's essentially your own knowledge base and AI. So as you're adding content of the things that you're interested in, you can query it and get the feedback you're looking for. It can be very powerful in that regards. A great place to do research. So if you're diving into research, we were talking about areas to invest in. Notebook LM might be a great place to start collecting those details and resources.
Very cool.
Neuron Writer. This is one of my favorites because if you're doing any kind of blog posting, this will analyze your competitors' content and help you rank higher than their content.
Oh, wow.
So not only will it help you craft your blog post, but it will actually compare that blog post to your competitors. This one can be a little overwhelming because when you put in any kind of audio into this platform, it literally generates hundreds of content assets based
Mhm.
on the audio.
Mm.
So it can create a blog post, it can pull out quotes. They recently added some video generation out of it.
Mm.
What's really particularly good about it is they're releasing a phone app right now. I can talk to the phone app and it will just generate a blog article for me.
That's pretty crazy.
It's pretty crazy.
So if any of you guys have like real estate investing websites and you're wondering like how can you keep that updated in minimal time of yours, right? These are some tools you can do that with, and it can help you pop up in the search engine under popular search terms like, sell my house fast or looking to sell my house for cash. And that can really help you get some free leads if you guys have a website. If you don't have a website, guys, don't waste time on that specific piece with blogs and stuff like that, because it takes you time away from doing deals. But if you're in the group here, you're already doing deals and you have a website, these are some things that can really help you guys, provide content for your Facebook business page, for your real estate business. So that way, when sellers check you out online, they can see that you're active and all that. So these are just some tools that can help with that. Asana, that's one that we use religiously in our real estate business. Like that is an amazing tool to be able to hand off tasks and trainings and things like that. So Asana is very cool.
Yeah, and we use it especially with our contractors because most
Mhm.
of them are already on Asana as well.
Yeah.
So I just assign the task directly out of there.
Awesome.
Notion. I'm going to call Notion out. If you're not familiar with Notion, this is kind of a sleeping horse, if you will. It's a great place to take your notes, and some people even use it as a CRM. But a step further, Notion is somebody that I think is going to be kind of shaking things up because they recently released a calendar app and a mail client. So imagine now you have your calendaring and your mail and your notebook all in one spot, all linked together.
That's pretty cool.
It could really be a powerhouse. Head over there. There's a lot of free tools there. And every time I get asked from somebody, I keep adding tools there as people ask me for things. So it's a
Can
good
you
place to go.
can you give an example of some of the tools that you have on that site and how that could help people do more deals when it comes to the real estate side?
Yeah. Well, I got a return on investment calculator for fix and flip,
Nice.
fix and flipping. I got one for wholesaling. I have another one to help you identify and establish your buy box. I have
Very
another
cool.
one to help you with the MLS description. And I'm missing one, but I think that covers all of them.
I love that. So yeah, guys, head on over to egghead.com if you want to check out some of the tools that Jack has here for that.
I'm going to point out desktop app integrations. Unfortunately, what we're seeing right now is that there are a lot of apps that are cramming in AI for the sake of cramming in AI, and they're really not providing a lot of good use. There's a few of them that are really beneficial. So, for example, if you're on a Mac, if you're not using Alfred or Raycast right now, that might be a game changer. So you take a look, but you can essentially do a lot of your Chat GPT and everything right there on your desktop without having to go to a web page.
Oh, wow. It's amazing.
Obsidian is a note-taking app, much like a OneNote or Notion, but it's on your desktop, and you can save that to your iCloud or your OneDrive if you're on Windows to secure it. But you can implement ChatGPT in there, and it will start to associate patterns between your notes that you might have missed. It's kind of creepy in some regards, but it will actually make those associations. And then Microsoft Office, I'm going to call that out because I haven't seen another company that has been able to implement AI to this level, and it'll actually, you can watch it in real time, build out a PowerPoint presentation or Microsoft Word. How do you reword that? Right there within these documents now, you have this power. It really comes a long way. And then I'm going to also then point out Real Deal Crew. You can find all of these things at realdealcrew.com, but particularly we're seeing, like I said, the AI receptionist is becoming a really big thing. And that's where a lot of my time is being spent right now, training AI receptionists and deploying those type of things.
Amazing. Yeah. And that can be a huge game changer, guys. Instead of hiring someone on your team to take inbound calls, like having some type of AI receptionist that could do the loose qualifying for you and then figure out from there if it's a good enough lead to pass on to you and kind of go from there. So is that how you're seeing it being used right now?
Well, you
Kind
know,
of a lead manager?
yeah, it can do everything. It can even book appointments for you if that's what you decide. But I'm the 2.0 version of this. I'm going to have it do a couple extra things, including doing some of the rough math so that you have some of these insights before you even call them back. But right now, the end goal is, you probably know this better than most, Chris, is that most people, when they start calling because they're hot to sell their property, they're going from one to the next to the next to the next until somebody answers their call.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody answers their call, they're done. So many situations, they'll stop there if they feel like somebody's working on it or somebody's going to give them a call back. If you're not available, something should be available to answer, so they stop calling or trying to move on to the next person.
Yep. Amazing.
Yeah, well, wait until you see, and I'm starting to work on one for property management.
Nice.
And in the end, the goal there is so that it actually deploys the maintenance too.
That'll be huge. That's huge, especially if you have like a rental portfolio and you have like a lot of maintenance requests. That'll save a lot of time.
Yeah, it'll try to, initially it'll try to do a little troubleshooting, and then if not, then it will deploy your preferred resource. So, but anyway, here's my contact information right now.
Or will it?
Or will it?
That's right. Well, awesome, Jack. Well, thanks for your time here tonight. This has been awesome, guys. Guys, have we learned a lot from Jack tonight? Go ahead and comment yes in the comments if you learned a lot from this tonight. And if you have any questions, guys, we're just going to leave some time open real quick to answer those questions. That is what Jack specializes in, helping you get your time back from wearing all the hats to streamlining your day and then making sure that you're focusing on the most important activities. When it comes to AI, he's amazing at it. If anyone is in that stage where you're just like, I'm thinking about hiring some assistants and maybe I should look into AI first, have a conversation with him because he can really help you with this stuff and help streamline things and make things a lot easier. For those of you who haven't already, I'm going to go ahead and drop a link here in the chat if you would like to connect with Jack on AI and how he could help you streamline your business. I just went ahead and dropped the link in the chat to book a strategy call with him. So go ahead and click that link, book a strategy call with him. He'll help you see how you could save time in your day and have you put more of your time where it matters most, which is talking with sellers and closing deals. Jack, have anything to add to that?
No, I appreciate it. Like Chris said, please don't hesitate. That strategy session is a free one. So we can spend a few minutes in talking and understanding how we can help you.
Absolutely. Amazing, guys. Amazing. So thanks, Jack, for your time. I appreciate it. Let me just buzz through the comments here. Does anybody have any questions for Jack before we part ways here tonight? Let me take a look here. I'm just going to scroll through Maria says, will there be a recording? Temporarily, there'll be a recording. So temporarily. Rico, okay, so RJ says, I have access to a huge off-market deal software. The problem is neighborhoods in the middle of nowhere properties. What do I focus on? What AI would I use to slimline that? I don't know if you could answer that question. He says,
yeah, well, I would probably start with Chat GPT 4.1 to do a little more deep research on something like that. Mm-hmm. And in fact, if he wants to hit me up, we can even kind of run through that in real time and I can try to help him with some of that.
Totally. RJ, reach out to Jack, even book one of those strategy sessions and he can help walk you through those things. Let's see what other questions we have here. Cool. I think that's all the questions we've had so far. Brian says, all new to me, but awesome. Maria says, thank you. Great info. Rico says, sounds great. Awesome. Well, Jack, thanks so much for your time tonight, man. This has been great. If anybody needs help with AI and implementing their business to save time, definitely book a strategy session with him so he can walk you through that. It's free and he can show you how you can save some time And then from there, dive a bit deeper. Jack, Case, again, this has been awesome.
I appreciate it, Chris. This was great. I really enjoyed our time together.
Awesome. Me too. And guys, I hope you have a great rest of your night. That brings this event to a close. And I'll see you guys next week, in which we're going to be having another amazing live session that's going to share with you the 3 pillars behind how we get deals closed virtually anywhere in the country.